Hi Aries, here is a general look at your solar chart for November 2016. Now this is the first clear month without the long-running Saturn-Neptune aspect, which was going on over June, July, August, September and a little bit of the beginning of October. And that has brought uncertainty and indecision and ambiguity as to who to follow, what to make of things, whether to go left, whether to go right, whether to sit still, whether to go forwards. Those are possible scenarios, but at the same time, on the flip side, asking deeper questions, doing some inner work would have been good. Nurture would have been good. Healing would have been good. Consulting with those that can facilitate that would have been good, and also the sort of the regularly working on healing or spirituality would have been good, whether that's for yourself or whether that's for somebody else, or whether that's for the common good, so a lot of other people. That also would have been good. And fleshing out those inner feelings, those vague hunches, stepping a dream down the levels and applying it in real life. But still, it has been easier to be barking up the wrong tree or to be led up the garden path by somebody. Now, the Sun position is in a very deep place up until the 22nd, along with Mercury that moves out of there on the 13th. And so at this time, whether you'll be feeling a bit more sensitive, but also weighing things up. So therefore moving forwards a little bit more intuitively as you go, and maybe having to be more sensitive to another side of things. For whatever the reason, it could be that you want to give them the help or the space, or the understanding or the compassion, or indeed you want to be a little bit like the hunter, very, very carefully around them because they've got a hidden agenda. That could be another way it is, but this is a good time to get personal advice, confidential advice, to get or give it, actually, because these planetary energies can go either way. And so intuitive advice, confidential advice, sensitive advice, and ideas and research could be going on, especially up until the 13th with Mercury in the position that Mercury will be in, and you are drilling down to fundamentals. You are thinking more about what's between the lines. Maybe you are being a little bit more secretive because you're not ready to come down with you might feel it more than actually have worked out the logic and the mechanic, in a logical way, the mechanics of it. Maybe it's like that, maybe it isn't. It may be that you feel quite passionate about somebody or something, and it's easy, that goes deep, but also it's easier for somebody to push a button in you that maybe surprises you and triggers something off in you. That can be in a good way, like in a passionate kind of a way, a sizzly kind of way, or not, where you are behaving from previous patterning. And then from the 13th, Mercury moves out of there, leaving the Sun behind. The Sun's there until the 22nd, and expands your mind. And it's a much more outgoing area. It's extrovert. It's more along your lines, Aries. And you should be entertaining potential outside of the box, getting out of the normal daily grind, maybe taking a trip, maybe just taking a different way home, signing up for something new, trying out something, like Argentinian tango or base jumping, or depending on your age and your inclination, but just, or even on the internet, and you're reading about a whole different area of stuff that had eluded you previously, and it was like, wow. And then you see how that piece of the puzzle might join up with other pieces of the puzzle. Between the 23rd and the 25th, Saturn does go over Mercury. This does make us sort of sit up and sort of smell the coffee a little bit, because you could get more pressure on you with schedules, deadlines, vehicles, communications equipment, but also responsibilities there related to contacts, and communications, mental and physical communications, and travel plans, that kind of stuff. But also at the same time, and over the last 10 days of the month, we've got Jupiter coming over Saturn, which will just like, where Saturn's tendency is to almost like contract down to a hugely weighty kind of seed, which if I dropped it through the floor would go all the way through the earth and out the other side, and Jupiter's way of just expanding like a huge balloon. When you put these two together in this very good way that they will be together over the last 10 days, this will take the heaviness, some of the heaviness out of the Saturn stuff, which is only the 23rd to the 25th anyway, because you'll be on maybe on something quite serious where you've got to think about schedules, deadlines, or responsibilities, or whatever. But at the same time, you're growing because you're expanding, you're learning, and this is very, very Jupiter. And you could be, focus and tenacity will be needed, but you could be broadening your horizons at the same time. And an important teacher or teaching can come to you at this time. So if you know that, maybe you can put yourself somewhere where that's more likely. Until the 12th, Venus encourages warmer, more supportive relationships with those from far away, and different cultural background, somebody who has got specialist knowledge, something like that. So we've got this theme running through the month. We've got some kind of introspection as the month begins, and then this sort of maybe deciding from a deeper level, and then the doors open with the planets shifting signs into this area where we can actually rationally begin to pick up the information that we felt we needed to have, or we needed to get to the bottom of, or whatever. And this could, travel with a partner could be happening from up until the 12th, but also anybody at a distance to you, if you earn money with people who are at a distance from you, or got a very different sort of background to you, either one-to-one, lucrative, or together doing well like that. Teaming up with someone, a teacher or someone with wisdom, could be helpful. And then Venus moves, and that means more opportunity coming your way from the 12th with authority figures, those in a position to help you, those maybe, in position of so-called power. At the moment, they've got the ability to open doors for you. And that could be, you can think of various examples, but also if you turn that energy around, you yourself could be seen as the one who has got the power and the authority to open doors for another and give them a bit of a leg up in life. Now, in the last week, there's likely to be more intensity, deeper questioning related to relationships or regarding a joint or shared money, or property, whether that's a big chunk of property or just something small that's shared, borrowed, lent. Somebody or something might be bugging you, but just make sure that you don't project your emotions onto them and call it their fault, because that's a tricky area there, and it's very, very easy for us to allow our minds to tell us that actually we don't have to feel the pain because it was somebody else's fault. And sometimes that's right, although I don't know where that gets us really. Off the hook, I guess. Now, from the, up until the 9th, Mars is busy wanting to achieve goals in life, wanting to put physical effort into achieving certain targets, certain ambitions, and this may be career orientated or just, in your general direction where you're going. And this could also mean having to be more active because of a parental figure, an authority figure, a boss, a teacher, And any of these people also could inspire you to take more responsibility about your direction in life. And you're thinking more about what you can do with your image, your impressions you're making on others, or with something that you are that you have created. And over this transit, you feel the need to work on a on a something which helps you to reach a standard. Helps you to. You want to reach a standard. You're more aware of scrutiny from the outside world, and you're more aware of standards during this one here. And you'll tend to make progress with the master plan. And then Mars will move into a very future-orientated area, which chimes in really well with the position that Mercury will be in from the 13th, and that Venus will be in from the Venus will be in from the really all month, I would say, and the Sun will be in from the 22nd. So this second position of Mars, which will last about 6 weeks, is progressive. It's very progressive, and it tends to be group orientated, whether it's new people you're meeting or old ones you're hooking up with again. But here again, or over the internet as well. But here again, you might feel that you've got a lot on your plate, and you've got a lot to do because of them, whoever they are, whether it's a family or an extended family or a tribe or whatever. Because Mars can be quite pushy. It wants things now. It's impatient, and that energy will be coming through that group dynamic, the dynamic of friends, and the social life and the circle, the club, the tribe, the society, whatever you belong to. But it is a progressive phase. And don't allow others to tire you out. Try to pace yourself. And this is a time when you could be getting into things which are new for you, unusual for you, even unconventional to you. And also technology can come in here as well. Things technological related to the internet, related to other smart bits of kit. Now, the Sun is also very happy and coming into, no, the Sun isn't coming into there. The Sun is going into the Sun is going into a similar area from the 22nd. It's outgoing, it's expansive, it boosts the spirits. You see fresh possibilities outside of the box, a bigger horizon, whether that's physically because you're somewhere different or otherwise. And then we have Saturn, of course, in Sagittarius until the end of 2017 in a very good angle to your sun sign. And this is a cycle of getting educated, putting yourself into education, educating yourself, doing the work that you waited to do, maybe to learn the stuff that you want to learn, traveling to the places that you want to do. And you'll be seeing the reality of something that maybe you had rose-tinted spectacles about before, whether it's a place, whether it's a subject, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever. And also here, you could feel that you have more responsibility on your shoulders to do with anything like that, like education and travel, but also legal matters can be. And developing a new understanding of things as you go forwards during those long, many months, you will slowly be making a new shape, really, or a new landscape, as I said, coming into your mind with that knowledge that you are gathering over that time, step by step, whether it's a course that you're on, whether it's traveling that you're doing, whether it's like a new community, new relationship, whatever it is, you are building from this, because Saturn is the great builder. So she gets a bad rap, actually, as being really strict and not wanting to listen to your excuses, which is true, but she's the great builder. You Arians born the 2nd to the 7th of April, or with 13 to 18 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And we have Jupiter and Pluto going over each other by degree in the second half of the month. Jupiter is going to open the way to wider possibilities via close personal relationships or close relationships. They might be business type relationships, actually, you know, but one-to-one type, I mean, but close, whether that's for a short time or a very long time. Close relationships, and that's until October 2017, so that's a very long one. And because of those key associations that you have in your life is going to grow, it's going to expand, you're going to see horizons that you didn't see before, and it looks like quite an interesting time. Those of you born Aries, born 30th of March to the 7th of April, or with 10 to 18 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. But at the end of the month we have Jupiter going over Pluto, and that'll help you with the power to succeed through intuitive evaluation of what really matters most at this time. So you are again sussing things out, and there could be a feeling of things being a little bit out of your personal control. Or it could be like a power thing or a battle of wills going on there. So keep your integrity, but don't be obsessive. Be willing to concede something, because that's always the way with Pluto at its best. But Jupiter and Pluto, actually, that could mean an experience which is almost like kind of fateful, like a meeting. You know, I can remember once walking across a crowded room at a mind body spirit thing, because somebody came in way over the other side that I'd never seen before, and I just went, I know her. And I walked over and I said, should we know each other? And she looked up at me and she said, yes, I think we should. And I think we've known each other now for the last, gosh, when was that? About 15 years ago. Yeah, best of friends. I mean, we've always lived at a distance to each other, but and that's the kind of thing with Pluto. Or it might be a piece of knowledge that comes that you absolutely know is right, even though technically you've never heard it before. But you know, almost like you have heard it before, but not in this life, sort of thing. So it can be like that. So yeah, or maybe it's just a little bit of not very much. It all depends. It all depends on lots of things. And then Uranus, you Arians born the 9th and 12th of April with 20 to 23 degrees rising. It's going really fast now, Uranus, through the later degrees now of your sign, Aries. You're going to feel this energy the most of change, and really leaving behind the tried and tested, or shall I say bringing with you the very, very basics into a very, very different world ahead. And Pluto, you Arians born the 3rd to the 6th of April with 14 to 17 degrees rising, you're going to be feeling that energy the most, and that is you really being honest with yourself, where you're at, what you need to know about how to be the real, true to yourself individual, and inhabit a different sense of identity. So no pressure there then. And that's it really for November. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also if you want to check out the material, then look it up on my website, DianaGarland.com. And yeah, I'll see you the next time.